Good day. Now we will be presenting our paper entitled Unraveling Gender Identity in Online Spaces Among Gay Individuals through the Lens of Judith Butler's Gender Performativity. So, this study focuses only on the experiences of gay people and the effects of social media on their gender identity and expression using Judith Butler's framework on her piece Gender Trouble. So, we seek to answer the following questions. So neither fully conforming to the traditional concept of a man or nor a woman, as the gender minority, gay people are subjected to discrimination and various forms of oppression in their families, peers, school, uh, workplace, and other institutions. So as we all know, our expression is a manifestation of our identity, and our identity is who we are. But because of society's prejudiced views on the gay community, gay people are afraid of exploring their individualities, and it is especially difficult for them to express their gender identities because of the negative connotations that society associates with being gay. Uh, in addition to that, as biological males, they are also expected to act according to what is masculine. However, now that there is social media, with the advent of social media, communication and access to information has become easier. And with these developments, social media provides an opportunity for gay people to discover themselves and widen their social relationships, boost their self esteem without having to physically fear the judgment, shame, and discrimination they are subjected to in their life offline. So, using Judith Butler's framework, our paper argues that social media has a positive influence on the formation of gender identity and expression for the gay community.
Okay, so in our theoretical framework, we will be using Judith Butler's Gender Trouble, Feminism and Subversion of Identity. So, the influential feminist philosopher challenges traditional notions of gender and identity. Butler dismantles the fixed and binary understanding of gender, arguing that it is not an inherent trait but a performative act shaped by societal norms and expectations. Butler prompts readers to question established gender foundations and advocates for a more fluid and inclusive understanding beyond traditional boundaries. Butler asserts that sex is not a simple biological given, but a cultural norm governing the materialization of bodies. Sex, as an ideal construct, is forcibly materialized over time through the reiteration of regulatory norms. Butler contends that societal interpretation influences how individuals perceive and treat gender, shaping the notion of what is considered natural. Gender, according to Butler, is a stylized repetition of acts within a rigid regulatory frame that solidifies over time, creating the appearance of a natural being. Contrary to the idea of gender as an expression of identity, Butler sees it as a repeated and stylized performance akin to a verb rather than a noun. And the emphasis through time underscores the idea that continual adherence to societal norms ingrains these behaviors, creating an illusion of naturalness when in fact they are roles taught to us. So, in this work of Butler, she introduces the three theories that can help us solidify our claims in this study. So, number one is gender performativity. So, the concept of gender performativity challenges the notion that gender is an innate or fixed identity. According to Butler, gender is not determined solely by biology but is a product of repeated social performances. Individuals from birth are assigned a gender based on societal norms and expectations linked to sex. However, this assignment is not reflective of an inner truth but involves the continual repetition of behaviors aligning with cultural ideas of masculinity or femininity. Butler's theory rejects the idea that gender is biologically predetermined, asserting that instead it is a fluid and socially constructed phenomenon shaped by cultural norms. These gender performances are not merely individual choices but are constrained by societal expectations. Individuals conform to or subvert these norms through their actions, challenging the belief in strict binary categories of gender. By emphasizing the performative nature of gender, Butler aims to disrupt the binary understanding of gender as solely masculine or feminine. The theory suggests that gender is continually produced and reinforced through everyday interactions, encouraging a more fluid and open conception that accommodates a wider spectrum of gender expressions and identities. So, in the heterosexual matrix, this concept delves into how societal norms uphold and perpetuate heterosexual norms as the presumed default, operating as a framework that extends beyond sexual orientation to shape our understanding of gender and sexuality more broadly. The heterosexual matrix, according to Butler, functions as a grid through which society categorizes and regulates individuals based on their perceived alignment or deviation from heterosexual norms. This matrix establishes what is considered normal, natural, or acceptable in terms of gender roles, desires, and relationships, reinforcing binary understandings of male and female, masculinity and femininity, with heterosexuality as the normative ideal. So, Butler contends that the heterosexual matrix exerts as a pervasive influence, constraining and regulating individuals' behaviors and identities. She provides an example illustrating how societal expectations prescribe that a woman should be feminine and emotional, while a man should be stoic, assertive, and not show vulnerability or emotion. These norms shape how people perceive themselves and others, often marginalizing or stigmatizing those who deviate from these expectations. So in doing so, she highlights how these structures limit the possibilities for diverse gender expressions, sexual orientations, and relationships beyond the prescribed societal norms. And in the cycle of repression, Judith Butler's exploration delves into how societal norms and power structures perpetuate the marginalization of identities challenging established norms. The cycle involves a continuous reinforcement of these norms, leading to the exclusion and invalidation of identities that deviate from these accepted frameworks. Societal norms, as Butler argues, are enforced through regulatory practices embedded in language, institutions, and cultural norms. Any expressions or identities diverging from these norms face repression and marginalization. This creates a recurring cycle where non-conforming identities are systematically excluded and invalidated. The cycle of repression serves to uphold normative ideals and sustain existing power structures. It operates through the repetition of societal norms and the systematic exclusion of diverse identities. Butler underscores how this perpetuates a system that marginalizes and represses those who do not conform to established categories. In essence, Butler's analysis sheds light on the ways power shapes and regulates identities within society through the continuous reinforcement of normative ideals.
Okay, so here we are to discuss for the chapter 3. So for the commonality is that society's perception towards nonconformity to the gender binary has been mostly been looked down on a sickness, an abnormality, or a sinful act. Butler defines sex and gender, which is the sex refers to the reproductive organs, meanwhile, the gender is a social construct. And it is very important for us to understand this too by acknowledging the difference between the commonly interchangeable terms. It promotes understanding and reduces the prejudice towards gender groups outside the male and female binary. So it is important for us also to cite the heterosexual matrix as for the citation reference for the chapter 2 is that it is a set of rules encompasses how certain genders must dress and how they react and carry themselves. And for the examples for this, is that the women should be emotional and be gentle and do housekeeping, so while the men should be tough, cold, and expected to provide financial needs for the family and rule the world. And the problem is that the heterosexual metric is a source of confusion for gay and men since they do not fit into both standards. So hence, Judith Butler also mentioned the performance of drag. As a natural born male and female, it is very expressed towards another gender. But in the representation of drag is that it's your own expression and how you appear differently towards another gender as an alternative way to challenge the norms and how people viewed you in traditional way. So, um, to justify the oppression and things that repress gay people from freely expressing their gender identity, we are here to cite the external factors that lies on. So the first one is in the educational setting, that some students grew up with a proper understanding and awareness about the gender spectrum. Also, the lack of comprehensive discussion of sex education that would lead to discrimination and oppression. The second is the religious and traditional beliefs, which some cultures that are conservative believes that there's only two gender exist and that is male and female based on a binary system, and also it preserves their identity. And also in religious aspects, majority of the population was subscribed to Christianity, which of course if we have to base that on Testament and the Bible, is it says that there's only two gender, again the male and female, and if you have to alter your gender then it is a sinful act. So for the third one is can be found in household setting. Majority of the cases, gay individuals are afraid of explicitly confessing to their parents or siblings because of the fear of expectations of receiving negative reactions and being rejected as a son. So the lastly is the societal norms. Gay individuals were oppressed by their own freedom to express because of deeply rooted established norms. Heterosexual binary system norm in society expects a pair men to be masculine and women as a feminine. Hence, the advent of social media provided gay people the opportunity to form online communities that help them find solidarity and support from other gay people that share the same struggles. So we list down here different platforms of social media that help gay individuals to connect to each other. The first one is the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and Reddit. So if we have to explain first for the Facebook is that Facebook is you can post, like, comment, share that connects within your friends or your gay individuals within Facebook publicly so that everyone can read and notice. For Twitter, or widely known as X, it is the diverse now that is commonly used in engaging such conversation, news, and real-time happenings, and also the use of hashtag is very important. And use keywords in search bars. It is very crucial in reading and engaging such news, especially for the viral tweets that easily. For the Instagram is that this platform is very different from the two, which allows gay individuals community within the community to share their authentic expression of a picture of themselves without getting bothered by something. Also, this platform also exercise the use of hashtag and the flow, clicks, and engagement to the feed, the algorithm. So as for the Tumblr, gay individuals provide communication themselves via posting images, text, and content and that correspond to multimedia content. Lastly, the Reddit. This platform features to allow people to make a discussion. So in the context of LGBT communities, the gay individuals, it is very important to engage this kind of platform and allowing themselves to express freely what they feel and their grievances towards something and have a serious conversation separate from other platforms. So aside from it, it is very also important to know that the influence of public figures such as artists and celebrities, once prominent and notable artists or celebrities publicly announce that they are gay, it embarks a huge impact not just in the culture industry but also in the community, which sends a powerful message of acceptance within the community and a pride. This leverage contributes to a much larger scale of a goal when it comes and how promote inclusivity that result in most likely a big change in LGBT community. So we cite here four direct quotations from the sources, but we have only verbally to speak or like cite two, which is the first one is someone said that social media is becoming this place where anyone, including LGBT community, to communicate with and share their feelings and experiences more as they can find people like them. Other sources said from someone said that I think that LGBT community go to social media as they cannot speak out loud about who they are. These responses witness that social media prescribe that as a safe space for this individual to participate and engage with a meaningful conversation. So lots of individuals are hesitant to express their true gender identity because of these common factors, because of fear, being judged, being discriminated against, and everything and so on and so forth. So hence for the last part is that Butler highlights that gender should not be based on biological sex standpoint, but with the performativity. It should not be predetermined and socially constructed by just conforming to the norms and or established norms of the society. She also said that gender is a performance to individuals' wish and desire to fully express themselves specifically towards their gender identity, without being repressed, oppressed, and any type of form that stops them from doing so. Additionally, once you conform or subscribe to that norm, then that is no longer gender performativity. So for the conclusion is that in an era which the modern technology, which is the social media platform exists, which is a safe space for gender discourse, raises awareness into diverse gender representation. And through Judith Butler's examination of gender in its relation to society is that we can summarize that the traditional gender norms are still being adhered to the present society. Gay people are still being subjected to bullying, discrimination, oppression, and etc. But despite this, social media has become an instrument to amplify their demand for equality and create a more inclusive and accepting society not just online but offline as well. With the use of Judith Butler's framework, social media is being like a supporting cast to justify the means that gay people can express themselves through with the help of social media by regaining their confidence, by receiving shots information and having make harmony between the other gay individuals within the community and make and form a camaraderie between that. And with this, they can fully express with themselves, thoroughly do not affair with what people said, so that these gay individuals can fully express about their true gender identity through social media with the help of social media. And I think that's it for the discussion of our chapter 3 and for the conclusion.